Neuroenhancers to enhance your brain. So a little background information. The essay from which my project is based is called Brain Gain, the Underground World of Neuroenhancing Drugs. It is focused on college students and how these students use drugs to stimulate their brains so that they are able to increase their concentration levels to complete assignments that they should have been doing at an earlier time, but instead are now doing late at night. The reason for this is because they value their social life more than they value their education. And this is a choice that every student has to make, a better social life or a better future. Which would a student rather risk, their social life or their future? My argument is alongside Margaret Talbot's argument, which is that neuroenhancers are damaging a student's brain and are causing more negative effects than a bad grade would, and keeping away from a social life or decreasing the engagement in one's social life is not going to hurt a student as much as these drugs are. Talbot uses extended examples of Alex, pathos, logos, and ethos to prove her point. Alex is a student at Harvard University, so we know that he has a great mind. He is really intelligent. And to maintain his status, Alex has to play soccer or any other sport in his school. He has to be engaged in various clubs and student organizations and has to have a great resume. Now, Alex wants a great social life, but it's at the risk of his education. So to cope with the time, he takes Adderall. He takes it so that he is better able to concentrate on his studies at night because he knows that he will not have time for it in the morning. In the long run, though, Alex is harming himself. He is hurting his brain. Talbot shows through pathos the negative effects of Adderall on a college student. She states that Adderall is a deadly medication for those it's not prescribed to. It causes nervousness, headaches, decreased appetite, and sleeplessness in those students who should not be taking these medications. She also provides statistical evidence to prove her point. She says, in 2005, in the University of Michigan, 4.1% of the undergrads took this medication for educational reasons and not for medical reasons. 35% in another school, and in yet another school, 25% of the undergrads. Now the surprising thing is, how do these students get these medications when it can only be prescribed? So there are these board at websites, board at Pennsylvania, board at Columbia, and board at Harvard, where students are able to converse with each other and find a means of obtaining this medication, where one student has some from his sibling who has ADHD and another student wants them, so they exchange money for it. Talbot also shows through ethos that it's not only her who is concerned about these things. Another man, Mr. Sean Estenban McCabe, a professor at the University of Michigan, who concentrates his research on the substance abuse, shows that it is indeed harmful for someone to take these medications if they're not prescribed to them. He shows through the statistical evidence that was shown, he shows that it is indeed harming a student more than it is helping them. In conclusion, Talbot uses extended examples, pathos, logos, and ethos to show that these neuroenhancers are only harming a student. Now, she also believes that there's no sense in banning these neuroenhancers because it's already banned for the general public. Students should not be taking in these medications because in the long run, it is harming them. It is damaging their brain. It is changing their life in the future for the worse.
Created using Powtoon.